Oh boy, baby, are we going to be in for a battle. Before the Montreal Canadiens play off against the Ottawa Senators today, we have ourselves a preview, a commentary, an indication of how much of a slobber knocker this matchup is going to be, and it all comes to us via Bruce Garriock on the Ottawa Citizen website. This show is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Go out there and check out the first link in the description to save some money on your VPN, get some free months, and support this YouTube channel all in the process. And if you wanted to go out there and take a look at yourself, this article will be linked in the description. Montreal Canadiens D-man Arber Xhekaj issues a warning to Sens captain Brady Tkachuk. I want his evening to be painful, says Xhekaj. Now, I will say there are some quotes that are maybe a tad mistranslated, but we'll go out there and read the article as presented and then go over onto the R Hockey subreddit to take a look at some of the fix-ups, I guess you could say. But of course, the reason we are even talking about this, and the reason Arber Xhekaj quote-unquote issued a warning to Brady Tkachuk, is directly off of the heels of the Four Nations face-off. Brady and Matthew Tkachuk were two of, if not absolutely the two, most impactful forwards on the entire team, and debatably in the entire tournament. Not just with their point-producing abilities, and not just with Matthew Tkachuk missing most of the game, but these guys and their physical presence, how these guys drag everybody else through the mud, through the fight, how these guys stand up and present their opponents with a really difficult time. The ability to go out there and just clock guys, the fighting ability, the aggression. Brady and Matthew Tkachuk are a different breed, and you can debate whether or not that is good or bad for the game itself. I think it's really entertaining, so I'm not going to necessarily say I want it to go away. But when you play that style, and you play that style so very well, you step up in big ways like Brady Tkachuk did, you gotta think about it. These Four Nation games were pretty much the most important games that he'd ever played as an NHL level pro. When you have that impact, you're gonna have guys around you on opposite teams that want to challenge that want to say, hey, you're not gonna do that to my guys. You're not gonna have the ability to fight players right off the draw, or you're not gonna be able to toss our guys around like a salad. No, I'm gonna step up and I'm gonna make sure you don't do that, which is why we go over into these quotes made by Arber Xhekaj. Take a look at this. So this was posted onto the Ottawa Citizen article. If Brady Tkachuk suits up against the Montreal Canadiens, he'd better keep his head up. That's the word from Habs D-man Arber Xhekaj. Asked about the best way to approach the Ottawa Senators captain as the two clubs return to action after the Four Nations face-off break on Saturday night at the Canadian Tire Centre, talk about a run-on sentence, the 24-year-old Xhekaj noted he wants a piece of Tkachuk. I'm going to confront him. I'm going straight to him. I'm going to beat the crap out of him, Xhekaj told Nick Kluche of TVA Sports, according to Google Translate. Now, this is where we take a look at some of the translations. Kluche later posted on social media that the translation from Google was incorrect. I butt heads with him. I go right at him. I fire him up. I don't care, Kluche reported that Xhekaj said. Now, there are some other quotes, but let's just talk about the first one here first. Yeah, that Google translation thing, if that was exactly what Xhekaj said, I don't think we would have ever seen anything like that before in hockey. A player saying in the pregame, yeah, I'm going to confront this guy. I'm going straight at him. I'm going to beat the crap out of this guy. Literally sending a very direct message to the player. And I mean, you think about it, Brady Tkachuk hears that, whether he plays tonight or not, who knows, but if he hears that, he sees, oh, Arber Xhekaj, that guy on the Montreal team wants to beat the crap out of me. Okay, that's not so subtle. Let's do it. And then they probably fight at the opening draw too. Like, it's probably something that Brady Tkachuk totally eats up and steps up to the challenge for. He's like, okay, what's 5 minutes at the beginning of the game in the penalty box and potentially a broken hand or something? But like, I think at this point in his career, Brady Tkachuk knows how to fight without getting too hurt. But comments like that, super direct, I'm gonna beat the crap out of this guy. No wonder the comments were rescinded and retranslated by Kluche himself. I butt heads with Brady Tkachuk, I'll go right at him, I fire him up, I don't care. These guys have a history. In a preseason game in October, Tkachuk jumped at Xhekaj after a nasty hit on Tim Stützle. Xhekaj was given a 5-minute major and a game misconduct for that incident. I want to make his life miserable, Xhekaj added. I want his evening to be painful. What I give him must be stronger than what he gives. Oh my gosh, talk about making things blunt, eh? I want to make his life miserable. I want his evening to be painful. Again, super blunt. And maybe it's not as direct as I am going to go out there and punch this guy. I am going to go onto the ice, skate up to him, confront him, and start wailing on him. I'm going to beat the crap out of him. It's like, wow. Arber Xhekaj definitely harbors some level of animosity in this, whether it be professional or not. I mean, that's hockey, baby, right? I guess we're all going to have our eyes on the Montreal Canadiens and the Ottawa Senators at 4 p.m. PST later today when these two teams face off and when Brady Tkachuk gets his first taste of NHL action post-Four Nations break. How are these tough guys around the league going to treat Brady Tkachuk now? That is, of course, assuming he plays. I think him and Sanderson did miss practice earlier today. Let's get a source on that. Tkachuk and Sanderson... yeah, pulling it up on Twitter. Yeah, no Brady Tkachuk, no Norris, no Sanderson, nor Pinto this morning. Jacob Bernard-Docker is placeholding for Brady on the top line during rushes. Okay, that's a weird choice. The assumption is that Tkachuk and Sanderson are getting the morning off to recover before tonight's important game. Important game, yes, that is indeed correct. If you head over to the NHL standings and you look at the wildcard race, Ottawa's right in there. Their first wildcard right now, the Detroit Red Wings, 1 game fewer, 1 point fewer, but the Wings right now are beating the Minnesota Wild, so this is a very important game in the NHL standings. You hopefully, would see your best players out there in a game like this. Circumstantially speaking, you need your best guys to put a foot forward, and it's like Brady Tkachuk is coming off of a super hot game too at that Four Nations face-off tournament. He's scored against Team Canada to get things going in that hockey game, but of course, you know, the US ended up losing, so oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee, don't we? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Arber Xhekaj sending a threat to Brady Tkachuk, literally saying, yeah, I want his night to be painful. I'm gonna go and beat the crap out of this guy. Okay, maybe that's the mistranslation. Let's go over onto Reddit, actually, before we end off this video, just to look at one more mistranslation as to what everything is posted about here. Here's the quote from the original French article. Je le confronte, je vais aller tout droit vers lui, je vais le cranker, je m'en fiche, a-t-il réagi? Cranker here means to crank, which in this context means to rile him up. Whoever tried to translate this, admittedly a very Quebecois expression from French articles, failed miserably. Xhekaj doesn't speak French, though. We've got a case where English was translated to French and then back to English, leading to some lost meaning. The original quote was, I butt heads with him, I go right at him, I fire him up, I don't care. So with that in mind, I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comment section about Arber Xhekaj's warning to Brady Tkachuk. Will you be watching these two teams face off against each other? Let me know in the comments, how do you feel? I hope you enjoyed this video. 9, and bye.